Hey, I think we're ready. Jimmy, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good. Well, I guess can you walk me through kind of how you found out that you were going to absorb these defensive play caller duties? And have you done this before in your career?
Actually, I haven't done it before in my career. Found out Sunday from Mr. Whitman, when he met with the coaches after his meeting with Coach Smith. So then the next thing you go to is get the D staff together, um, give responsibilities out, and then try to come up with the best game plan that put your players in the best position.
Is there anything that do you have any goals for how you want to approach this on Saturday? I mean, I guess what's your mindset going into this?
Just make it fun for the kids, because that's what we coach for. Put them in the best possible positions to be successful and execute at a high level, get them to play with great effort and be great teammates and trust the guy next to them. And that's all we can do as a coaching staff. And our defensive staff of guys have done a great job of that this week.
And then my last thing for you, how is this week? What responsibilities, I'm assuming quite a bit, but what responsibilities change for you? What's this week like for you from a day-to-day standpoint? And do you lean on anybody, whether in the facility or outside, just to make your way through to Saturday?
It totally changes. You go from coaching a group to being in charge of a whole unit. So that's been exciting and challenging. Like I said before, I'm leaning on our defensive staff a ton. We're all in this together. There's some guys in the profession that I reached out to, and just like anything else in life, they told me to be myself, and that's all you can do. Lean on past coordinators you work for and go from there.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Hey, Coach, I'll kind of follow up on what Joey was asking. Just talk about the weirdness of this situation. Have you ever been in a spot like this?
Never been being named the coordinator for a game. I haven't, but I have been a part of staffs, where the head coach got let go. And as an assistant, you just got to keep your head down and do your job until whoever you works for tells you you're either there or you're not employed by that institution anymore. It's part of the profession. If you coach long enough, it's going to happen to you. Luckily, I've been fortunate and blessed to be a part of this situation and be in this great profession for a long time. And, things happen for a reason and things will work out. You'll be where you're supposed to be.
Coach, you just got here. I know we talked about this before. You like it here. Would you be open to staying if the next coach came in and said, "Hey, coach, come stay with me"? Would that be something you consider?
I mean, obviously, you got to look at all situations. I think if that opportunity is presented, you got to sit down with your family. I'm blessed my parents are still alive, so you can reach out to them and get their thoughts. But ultimately, as a coach, as an assistant coach especially, you got to do what's best for you and your family. So you got to be open to all offers in all situations that present themselves.
And Coach, the last thing, do you expect the kids to play kind of a fired up game, kind of showing their support for Coach Smith and the rest of you guys? Do you expect that from these kids?
And first, I'm in control of the defense right now, and I'm honored to handle that position. Our defensive kids have been great. We had our team meeting on Monday with Coach Rod and Mr. Whitman, and then we met as a defensive unit. And the thing that I stress to them is if they came in that defensive team meeting room, they're all in, for one last time, good or bad. Starting with, there's no guarantee any other coaches will be here. Some of the seniors, may decide to do other things, try the next level, go to other schools. So let's just be together, be as one, play for each other, love each other this week, and see where the chips fall on Saturday.
I got one more. This is going to be your first trip to Penn State?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Great.
sir.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, Jimmy. First question is, with this kind of short window, do you try to do anything different, tweak anything defensively, or you kind of keep the scheme that's been running?
We've got together as a defensive staff and conglomerated on some things. There's not a lot you can change in 4 days of a game, from what we did with Coach Smith. There are some tweaks that we'll try to implement. And at the end of the day, the thing is just making it fun for the guys and getting those guys to play with great effort. That's all I'm asking of them.
What specifically stands out about Penn State's offense, the challenges that they present?
Quarterback run game, really experienced offensive line. Young backs, but they're really good players. They got different body types. They play about 3 tailbacks, big, medium size. 2 really good wideouts, one being a true. They got a really good young wide receiver core. And then they got a really good freshman that stands out, number 3, who happens to be our director of high school relations little brother. So they do a great job. I don't know Coach Franklin personally, but they have a great program. Obviously, they got a lot of tradition. So we got a tough task at hand, and we just got to go out and do the best job we can do and leave it out on the field.
And finally, you built up quite a resume in your career coaching, but coming here, what did Lovie Smith do for you? What did he mean for you?
He gave me a chance, coached for 20 years and, bounced around, group of 5, FCS. So Coach Smith gave my first Power 5 break, so I'm forever grateful for that. And, it always don't work out like you think it will or is planned, but that's life,
Well, thank you and best of luck.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Jimmy. First thing, we asked Rod about this a little bit yesterday as well, just the emotions surrounding this. What were Sunday and Monday like for you, especially during those meetings you had with like Josh and then Rod and your team and the players and things like that? What was that like for you?
It obviously catches you off guard when you're unexpected. But the thing at the end of the day, we signed up for this business. We signed up to be coaches. We could have been a banker, selling insurance or whatever, pharmaceuticals, whatever that calling. But we all coach because we still love we're not good enough to play. So we obviously live through the kids. And as a professional, once you find out the news and whatever institution you're working at, you just got to do your job till they tell you they don't need your services anymore, or they tell you they want to keep your services. And that's the way I look at things. Just keep my head down, do the best job we can do for these players, and then wherever things end up, they end up.
And obviously, being evaluated during a pandemic season is got to be kind of difficult. How do you wrap your head around that? I mean, what are your thoughts about just having the team evaluated in this fashion during a pandemic specifically?
Obviously, the great thing about football is it teaches us adversity in life, whether that's a pandemic, whether this country was normal, right? So within it, you just deal with it. You do the best job you can do, controlling your job responsibility and getting your group to play to the best level they can play. Obviously, we didn't want it to end this way, but like I said before, that's part of life.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
I guess I'll hop in here. Jimmy, I'm just wondering, can you tell us a little bit more about the guys who are kind of elevated on the defensive staff? I know Dylan Roney, Carson Hall, but what those guys can bring to you this week?
Well, Dylan, I hate to say it, Dylan's like my little brother. He obviously was with me at Western Kentucky. We have a great relationship. It's actually a really scary relationship because before I can say things, he's already thinking that, or he's already done it because he knows me so well. So I have great faith in him that he'll have our defensive ends prepared this week. Obviously, Carson will be handling our linebackers. He obviously assisted Coach Miles Smith, and all those guys have done a great job. They've been a blessing to me. They kept me sane these past couple of days. So very appreciative of our support staff and Alira Meany. He obviously was with Coach Smith with the safeties. So he knows that position in and out. And like I told those guys on Sunday, I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. So we put our heads together and try to come up with the best plan to put our players in the best position to be successful.
And I know we talked about awkwardness a little bit, but recruiting signing day is tomorrow, and it seems like most of the class will stay. What are those conversations been like with the commits, and what's that like for you guys to keep working for the program?
First of all, as far as the program, we all have as assistant coaches, we all have a job to do. Obviously, you do your job as a professional and maintain that integrity. As far as the commits, I really only dealt with the two kids from Georgia. They chose this great institution because Illinois is what it is. It is a great institution, great academics. Obviously, we're blessed with a great football facility, and that's why they chose it. And they're honoring their commitment, and I'm proud of them for that.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Jimmy, I have a follow-up. I mean, just in terms of like your day-to-day, are there sleepless nights as you try to figure out how to go, or do you just kind of relax and, obviously it's more work, but I guess how do you approach the balance of, is there worry, like, I'm calling a game on Saturday defensively, or do you just breathe and kind of, let it fall a little bit?
Yeah, first I think you lean on your staff, your defensive staff that's with you. Obviously, there is some anxiousness, nerves are obviously factor in, but just be myself. My previous head coach, before I even took this job, Coach Tyson Helton, he told me just be you, and that's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be genuine. There'll be no fakeness, so to speak. So I'll just be myself and be demanding of the kids and ask them to do things for us at a high level.
And is there a specific tone you guys are trying to set in practice this week as you go into, with all the uncertainty overhead?
Yes, just play with great effort, be great teammates. Don't let the guy down that's beside you. That's been my message to the guys. And I've tried to reiterate that with the assistants to stress that to them. Let's be sound. Let's play with great effort, run to the ball, and all those things.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Anybody else got anything? That was all good. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.